Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our gathering hymn, number 1008, 1008 in the teal hymnal, When Our Heart is in the Holy Place. Well, we get our mistakes out of the way right at first, so everything will be perfect from now on. So, welcome to the. Let's see. Let's
be closer to you.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Hillsborough, where we constantly strive to be an open and welcoming congregation to all who seek community and support. So, whoever you are, guest, friend, neighbor, member, for whatever reason brings you to join us today, either in person or online, we welcome you. My name is Dave Yelton. I'm the worship coordinator for today's service. And as a lay-led congregation, there are many contributors, many behind the scenes who make our services and our classes for adults and children possible. So we give a big thank you to everyone involved, everyone who helps make this a great place to gather, learn, and grow in spirit and love and community. And I also want to have a special welcome to our guest speaker today, Reverend Patty Hanneman. And unless you've been, need I say more? But I will say more. Unless you're very new to UUCH, or if you've been living in a cave off the grid for the past 15 years or so, you know that Patty has previously served as our call minister for 12 years. However, when a series of difficult challenges, including COVID, threw us for a financial loop, Patty creatively and successfully transitioned to a position of self-employment. Her ministry now includes the offering rites of passage, spiritual direction, congregational consultation, and short-term parish ministries. And fortunately for us, as we continue as a lay-led congregation, we are on her short list of parishes that she can serve occasionally as a guest speaker. And so We're blessed to have you join us today, Patty. We look forward to your message. Before we create our time for worship, let's take a moment to share important announcements for our community. First, as always, it's really good to check your cell phone and put it in worship or quiet mode. And we will enjoy, of course, our regular coffee and tea after the service at the back of the sanctuary. If you are a visitor today, I'm not sure if we have any, but please join us for that time in a more relaxed setting so we can get to know you. Now, if there are any more announcements for the good of the community, if so, please come forward, state your name, and give us your announcement on the side microphone.
I'm Tristan, and I'm adjusting a microphone.
Okay.
Here, closer.
Don't forget I'm going to be short.
Yeah,
We can always bring it down. Yeah.
Better.
Maybe a little higher.
That could be it done. Stand by. Technical difficulties. That is not higher, that is lower. This is taking longer than I thought.
Okay.
All right.
I see it.
It did seem a little high. That's what I thought as well. There, maybe. All right, that'll work. That'll work.
Now, if there are any more announcements, come to the side microphone. They seem to be at the right height.
Hi everybody, I'm Kim. I have a few things that I want to make sure that everybody is aware of. First and foremost is that we have passed the deadline for our annual fundraising pledge campaign. We have not yet reached our goal for contributions, but there are several folks that usually contribute who haven't yet. We're reaching out to people, so if you would like to be one of the team that helps reach out to folks, I would love you forever, and please just see me after the service. It is never too late to support this congregation, even if it's 6 months from now, and you just want to chip in a little bit. Like, every penny helps. And we also really are truly grateful for everyone that gives not just their treasure, but their time or their talent. So I know this is edging into Joys and Sorrows, but the talent show was on Friday, and it was so much fun. And I just want to special shout out to Tristan for running the technology side of things as an example of donating your talent. On June 8th, our next fellowship event is karaoke. I think on the calendar it says youth. We really mean it to be like anyone young or young at heart. So everybody is welcome to come and do karaoke with us. We'll hook up YouTube, and whatever song you like, we can find it, and it'll have the lyrics. So you'll be all set and perfectly comfortable. You're welcome to bring friends. Please bring friends. We are still surveying for interest for a camping trip over Labor Day weekend. Please see me or anybody else on fellowship if you're interested in that. We'll probably send out a formal survey with next week's newsletter so that we can start to get a head count and see how big of a site we're going to need. And then, lastly, I was going to mention membership class, but I will let Amy do that because she's really good at talking about that. We're going to hold one soon.
We're gonna have a membership class soon.
Say again?
Sorry. My brain's not working very well today, so I fully apologize. There is a link in the newsletter to let me know if you're interested in membership. Kim and I are gonna be doing a class within the next month, hopefully soon. To get y'all joined up. There's another, I'm sorry, my brain not working today. Where's Alicia? Don't we have a thing coming up?
No, we were here. My next
thing is in September.
Okay,
You want me to talk about it now?
No, I'm sorry.
I want to know, Amy, the survey,
Oh,
people
yeah.
haven't responded.
There's a survey in the newsletter about the listening ears
About the
care team and how to proceed. Please fill out that survey. I think we have another week to finish it off.
24th, yep.
24th. So please complete that survey. There's also, for those of you who still have to submit your pledges, you can go to the website www.unchnc.org / Is that what I said?
You said UNC, okay.
Oh my gosh, y'all. UUCHNC.org / pledge. I think that's all. I'm sorry.
Also, I've got paper forms here, if you just wanna knock it out real quick.
We love you, Amy.
That it? Make sure. Let's go. Okay, if there are no more announcements for the good of the community, let's prepare ourselves for the time of worship together, reminding ourselves of who we are and why we gather. We don't require that we adhere to one specific creed or common belief, but rather we are a covenantal community, committing to loving and supporting each other in our individual, lifelong search for truth and meaning in matters of our personal faith. We'll begin with our chalice lighting. This is Cherishing Our Differences by Cindy Feston. We are all capable in different ways, with various strengths and talents. We are all wholly part of the universe and the interdependent web. We light this chalice, cherishing our differences and holding each other in sacredness.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
morning. Tristan, can I
Feel
just...
free.
There we go. All right. Our opening words this morning are by the Reverend Scott Taylor. We gather as a house of stories, many stories woven fine. As we listen to the tales of those who have gone before, the way in front of us becomes more clear. As we make space for voices long silenced, all of us become more free. As we hear the accounts of those who made it through the dark, courage reigns on each and every one. These stories, friends, I need yours as you need mine. It is how we all become whole. Yes, we gather as a house of many stories. Come and listen once again. I invite you to stand for our opening hymn now, Gather the Spirit. It is number 347 in your great hymnal. Please stand in either body or spirit as we sing this together.
Hero
Ours is a welcoming community where we find connection, a sharing community where our joys are celebrated, and a caring community where our sorrows are lessened. Each Sunday we take some time to reflect on special happenings that have occurred during the week among our members and friends. Some choose to share aloud while others choose to remain silent. Here we make room for both. For those of you who would like to share aloud, please take a moment before we begin. Center yourself and collect your thoughts so that what you have to share this morning is personal, heartfelt, and brief. So now please come forward, tell us your name, and share what is in your heart. When you have finished, you may release a stone into the vase on the altar. For those of you joining us online and would like to share your joys or concerns with us, please put that in the chat and tell us if you would like it to be read aloud, and we'll drop a stone for you. So please come forward. For those of you who would prefer to silently acknowledge your joys and sorrows remaining in your heart, I invite you to come to the altar, release a stone in the vase in silence while Aviva plays I Know This Rose Will Open. After she plays through it one time, you're all invited to join in singing this meditative song. Words are printed in your order of service. these things within the heart of this community, both spoken and unspoken, while remaining silent for a moment as we consider what has been shared and how we might respond. Let us close together with Amen and blessed be. Amen and blessed be. Now let's sing our children to class with the children's blessing located in the back cover of your gray hymnal.
I invite us now to just take a few moments to center ourselves with some deep breaths, breathing in all that good energy that this community represents, including what just transpired Friday night. Breathing out anything that may be keeping us from being fully present this morning. Breathing in, breathing out. Listen to your breath. Just listen. Is there a whistle to your breath? Is there one nostril that's more open than the other? Without any kind of judgment, just listen to your breathing. And then listen to the breathing of the person next to you, whether you are here in the sanctuary with us this morning or at home with your cat on your lap, or next to your beloved, or alone. Just listen. Some of us listen with our ears, the sounds we make, the sounds that other people make, and some of us will hear with our eyes, watching lips and hands and arms and bodies as they take deep breaths. Some of us will hear with our bodies, feeling the vibrations in the air, on our skin. Just notice. Breathing in, breathing out, centering ourselves. Listening to the many ways you know how. As together we enter into this sacred time together. Amen and blessed be. During a recent rally, Donald Trump asked someone to throw him a pin. And someone from the crowd threw a pin and it landed close to his feet, and he went over and bent down and picked it up, and coming back to the microphone, he said something like, I would like to see old Joe Biden do that. You know, one of the core considerations in this year's election cycle has become what is the cognitive and physical fitness of the two candidates based on their ages. At 81, is Biden too old to run again? Is it ageist to ask that question? Let's put aside for a moment the fact that Trump is not that far behind him. I am finding myself so incredibly tired of this frame as a consideration for who our next president might be. Why in the world, I ask myself, has the ability to sprint up the podium steps or to bend over and pick up a pen affected our ideas of who is more fit to be holding that office? In the UUA's Article 2 proposal that we're going to be voting on this summer at General Assembly, pluralism is listed as one of the ways that we might call love into the world, and I see it is your theme this month. The proposal states, in part, we celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. This morning, I'm asking us to reflect on the diversity of age in our congregations and in our communities at large. What are the biases regarding the ages of various people we find here? How does ageism, with its pervasive stereotypes, hinder the potential that we find in our congregations? There are countless aspects of being human, and age is certainly one of them. Age does matter. It is not ageist to say that age matters any more than it is racist to say that race matters. Ageism refers to the belief that some ages are preferable to others, and that belief affects us all. In this country, we are obsessed with the middle working years as the core of a person's worth. We value productivity and profit, and so we place little value on the first quarter of life and the last quarter of life. So children and youth get caught up in the ageist trap when we consider them only in terms of their potential as future producers, future consumers, instead of really respecting the stage of life that they are in and the spiritual work that entails during the first 20 to 24 years. We forget our common responsibility for affordable public education. We forget that is a right of all people. Until you're at least 20, you ought to be able to have affordable education. And I see our lack of being able to do this as one of the ways in which ageism plays a part in our society. Our focus on production and profit also causes us to deny the basic realities of midlife, that there are times when it's hard to show up for an 8 to 10 hour day, Whether you've just been pregnant, you've just had surgery, you've had an illness, or you're just experiencing the wear and tear of life, and we neglect basic practices like vacation time and family leave, something that is standard in other industrialized nations. Did you know that many European countries have 6-hour workdays, which leads to less unemployment and allows people to leave their workplaces at the same time, if they're working the day shift, it allows them to leave their workplace at the same time their children get out of school, so that they can have a family life in the late afternoons and evenings. So education and production have equal value in their dispensation of time. And then, of course, the stereotypes of ageism also affect those of us who are in our last quarter of life. We have many stereotypes of what this is like. And here's just one that I'm going to mention. The fear that many people have during midlife of ending our days in some institutional hallway. I want you to guess how many Americans over the age of 65 live in nursing homes or some sort of assisted living. What would you guess?
10%.
20%?
10%.
30.
2.5%.
Wow.
And how many over the age of 85 are in this situation? 9%. 9%. It turns out that over 3/4 of our elders, 85 and older, can go about everyday activities without any kind of personal assistance. The vast majority of older Americans live independently or interdependently until they come down with whatever is going to send them over the waterfall. I just came back from spending a week with my mother, who will be 97 in a few days. She lives independently in our family home. She does her own cooking, gardening, her own housework. She mows her own grass. She still changes her own oil. And while I was there, we spent a day getting compost at the community recycling center for her gardens, which she insisted on shoveling herself into buckets that we then put in her car trunk. She's 97, and I recognize that my mom is pretty incredible for her age. I realize this is not how the life of many 97-year-olds, but so far she has been pretty unstoppable, in large part, I think, because she has never allowed anyone she has never allowed anyone to tell her what her life should look like at 97. She has, she's just forgotten all the stereotypes. And that really matters as we get older. Studies have shown, in fact, that people in middle age who believe stereotypes about the last quarter of life, what that should look like, are significantly more likely to experience age-related illnesses at an early age. All that being said, there is an ebb and flow to our lives that Spirit calls us to pay attention to. What if we could honor and really respect the natural flow of a human lifespan giving each phase equal importance. Might this be a way of bridging our differences? I wonder. I've been using the frame of life quarters this morning, and Carl Jung was the first to suggest that we live our lives in quarters and that there is a significant transformation from one quarter to the next, each quarter lasting between 20 and 24 years. Well, he said 20, but we didn't live as long in his day, so now I say 20 to 24. And each of these quarters requires a different consciousness, different tools, and a different kind of wisdom. And this is regardless of what generation we were born into, what time we were born into. Jung further felt that the way we approach each quarter depends in large part on our personality type. The personality types he described were later formulated into the Myers-Briggs personality indicator. You're familiar with that. His schematics, therefore, of what each quarter looks like become kind of complicated, and I'm not going to go into that this morning. For our purposes, this morning, I think we can just think about these 4 quarters as a flow back and forth between yin and yang energy. Yin energy being concerned with the experience of being, and yang energy being concerned with the experience of doing, being and doing. And while each of these energies is important for a balanced life, and their flow patterns vary from individual to individual, we find that yin energy of being is more prevalent in the first quarter of life and in the last quarter of life. And yang energy, that energy of doing, is more prevalent during the 2 middle quarters. But each quarter has its own spiritual work to do. In the first quarter, up until the age of 20 to 24, our spiritual work is to take in information, to get a sense of who we are in relation to our culture, in relation to our families, our cohort group, our communities, and our passions. It's a time to begin creating ego strength that will serve as the container for our personal journey. It's a time for asking questions like, what makes me significant as a person? How will I support myself? And who will go with me? Who will I look for my most intimate friendships? And then in the second quarter, we begin a career, we find intimate relationships, we decide where we're going to live, and we continue to refine the answers to the questions that we asked during the first quarter. We build some success in developing a career and a lifestyle, a brand. We learn the sacred no that gives us dignity, identity, direction, significance, and boundaries. These years, up until our mid-40s, are years of what I call a healthy narcissism that drives us in busy productivity. And for many, these years will also include considering how we're going to shape children. And then sometime in our mid-40s, we enter the third quarter. We've built that container, our lifestyle, for the first half of the journey, and now we begin to consider whether we have filled it with the right stuff. whether we need to do some decluttering, whether we need to take some corrective actions. Maybe we've had a death, a divorce, a layoff, or some other loss that has speeded up that transformation. But somehow, for whatever reason, we start considering, what do I really want my life to look like? What really gives me the most meaning? My children now are 44 and 42, and I see them both going through this transition right now. And it's a hard transition. Our ageist culture will call this a midlife crisis. But it really is a time of deep spiritual transformation that's necessary. And then in the fourth and final quarter, which I now find myself in, we take a step even further back from those yang energies of public achievement and the power dynamics of the workplace. If we continue to work, we will likely see those power dynamics as kind of silly, superfluous to the kind of work that we want to do. Jungian analyst Connie Zweig calls this shifting from role to soul. And this feels really accurate to me. It's a time to begin disidentifying from the roles and the values that seemed oh so important just a few years ago. It's a time where we step back from leadership and we consider how we can mentor leadership in the next few generations. It's a time to begin taking stock of diminishing capabilities and appreciating the differences. As an example, I used to be a runner many years ago, and my knees don't allow me to do that anymore. But I now have my entire morning, because I work only in the afternoons and evenings, I have my entire morning to take a hike along the river. And I am finding that it has given me an appreciation for beauty like I never had when I was taking those 45-minute jogs with my headphones on. So what would society look like if we were able to look at these 4 quarters of life as stages that have equal value? I think if we could do this, many of us would not be as reluctant to try to stay in a stage that's no longer comfortable. What would our congregations look like? How could we honor those transition points more fully? How could we celebrate them? How could we celebrate the different stages that people are going through and tap into the special gifts that each stage offers? I think if we could do this well, it would mean truly leading us to what that Article 2 proposal suggests, celebrating that we are all sacred beings, embracing our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. And as we think about our congregations and how we can best support our various ages, I want to leave you with 2 ideas. The first one is for those who are now in your second half of life. It's important to remember that institutions, and that includes congregations, will be focused on first half of life issues. They will be focused on how to maintain the building, how to support the work that we do here, how we educate our children, and how and who are going to be our members. Who are we going to take with us? How do we support ourselves? What is our brand? Those are all first half of life issues. And I see many people in my spiritual direction practice now who are reaching middle age and saying, my congregation no longer serves me because they're not seeming to address my problems, my issues. And that cognitive dissonance is a real thing, and it might help if you recognize what congregational life is generally about. And for those of you who are in your first half of life, remember that you can have no idea what it feels like to be older than what you are right now. Just like I don't have any idea what it feels like to be in my 80s or 90s. And so to understand people that are older than you takes some listening. So listen to your elders about what's important to them as well. Having one or two of them in your leadership circle will give you the long view. But because congregational life is often mostly about first half of life issues, you need to have leaders that can address that too, that are in their first half of life. So, I leave you with this thought. I hope that each of you can be true to your own soul's age, embracing your chronological age while also remaining ageless joy. May each of us accept our passage from one age to the next with grace, surrounded by love, being seen for who we are and for who we are becoming. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be.
At this time each Sunday, we take a monetary offering that supports our social justice work in our Orange County communities. This month, our plate offering goes to Orange County Justice United. So please donate by placing a cash or check in the offering basket, and if by check, please write plate in the memo line, or you can go to our website and click on the donate button, or you can use the QR code printed in our order of service. And we thank you for your generosity. Please join me in our prayer of collective gratitude found in your order of service. For the love that surrounds us every morning, for the friends beside us, and for the generous gifts just received, let us be truly grateful. Please rise and body your spirit as we sing our closing hymn, number 354, We Laugh, We Cry.
Our closing words this morning are by the Reverend Dr. David Breeden. Let us be the welcome we crave. Open hearts, arms outstretched. Let's embody radical welcome, unquestioning love. Let us be the welcome we crave. Let us embody the community we crave.
Now please join me as we extinguish our sacred UU chalice. We extinguish this flame with not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Go in peace, my friends, and blessed be.
It was